Hey everybody, welcome back!
My father ripped up my diploma. Don't exaggerate, it's just a piece of cardboard. You'll still be the same loser you've always been, he said while my brother laughed. So, I ripped up his $5,000 monthly check for their bills. My name is Andres, and I'm 28 years old. I work as a manager at a renowned company, earning $15,500 a month. And for the last 5 years, I have been the sole financial support for a family that treats me like trash. I grew up in a working-class family. My father, Ricardo, 58, used to work as an insurance salesman but quit his job 7 years ago, claiming health problems that were never very specific. My older brother, Pablo, 32, has never held a stable job in his life, always making excuses that the available jobs weren't worthy of him or that he was waiting for the right opportunity. My mother, Elena, 56, is a homemaker and always has been, dedicated to taking care of the home and us. From a young age, I understood that if I wanted something in life, I would have to get it myself. I worked part-time jobs throughout high school to have my own money. When I graduated, instead of going straight to college like Pablo had with my parents' money, I worked full-time for 2 years to save up. At 20, I finally entered university to study business administration while continuing to work part-time to pay for my studies. It was 8 years of hell, working by day, studying by night, sleeping little, sacrificing my social life, all to finally obtain my degree. It took me longer than usual because I had to defer some payments. Meanwhile, Pablo had dropped out of college after 3 years of my parents paying his tuition, deciding that university wasn't for him and that he would learn more in the real world. Since then, he had been living at my parents' house without contributing anything, playing video games, going out with friends, basically, an adult behaving like a kept teenager. When I was 23 and working my first professional job earning $1,500 a month, my father called me for a serious conversation. "Son, your mother and I are in financial trouble," he told me. "On my pension and with no other income, we can't make ends meet. We need your help." "And Pablo?" I asked. "Can't he get a job?" "Your brother is looking," my father defended him, "but in the meantime, someone has to help. You're the only one with a stable income." And like the naive person I was, I agreed. I started by giving them $500 monthly to help with the bills, but it was never enough. There was always something more, a medical emergency, an urgent repair, an unexpected debt. Over the years, my salary grew. At 25, I was making $8,000. At 27, $12,000. Now at 28, $15,500. And in parallel, my financial support for the family also grew. Lately, I had been sending them $5,000 every month. A check that covered absolutely everything: their house rent, $1,800, utilities, $450, food, $1,200, the car they used, $600, and miscellaneous expenses, $950. In 5 years, I have given them $300,000. $300,000 to support 2 perfectly capable adults who simply chose not to work. And my reward for this constant financial sacrifice was systematic emotional abuse. "It's true," Pablo would add, laughing. "Poor Andres, all that work, and for what? To remain mediocre. At least I live happily without enslaving myself for a paycheck." My mother occasionally tried to defend me. "Andres is a very hard worker. He's building a good future." "Future," my father would scoff. "He has no wife, no kids, he works all day. What kind of future is that? He's a loser with money. That's not success." Every family visit was the same. Criticism, mockery, belittlement. And I put up with it because I thought of my mother. She was the only one who showed me genuine affection, the only one who asked how I was really doing, the only one who seemed to appreciate what I did for the family. I kept sending that $5,000 monthly check, thinking, I'm doing it for Mom. so she could be comfortable, so she wouldn't lack anything. Then this month arrived. After 8 years of studying while working, after sacrificing countless nights of sleep and weekends, I finally graduated from university with my degree in business administration. Not with honors, because working full-time didn't allow me to get the best grades, but I graduated. I finished. I achieved what I set out to do. My graduation ceremony was on a Wednesday afternoon. My mother said she would try to come, but that my father and Pablo said they had things to do. In the end, none of them came. My mother didn't come either because she said my father wouldn't let her go, he made her cook instead of letting her attend my graduation. I graduated alone, with no family in the stands, but I didn't mind that much. I had achieved something important for myself. The next day, Thursday, I went to pick up my official diploma from the university. It was a beautiful document, an elegant frame, my name in calligraphy, the official seal of the university. I held it with pride, thinking about everything it represented. 8 years of effort, thousands of hours of study, countless sacrifices. I decided to go show it to my family that same afternoon. Maybe, just maybe, they would see that I wasn't a loser, that I had achieved something significant, that I deserved some respect. I also brought the $5,000 monthly check with me. It was the end of the month, and they had to pay the rent. As always, I was the one ensuring that payment was made. I arrived at the house around 6 p.m. My father was on the couch watching television. Pablo was playing video games in his room with the door open. My mother was in the kitchen preparing dinner. "Hello, family," I said, walking in with the diploma in one hand and a small box of cupcakes in the other. "I brought something to celebrate." "Celebrate what?" my father asked without taking his eyes off the television. "I graduated," I said with a proud smile. "I officially picked up my diploma today. After 8 years, I'm finally a professional." My mother immediately came out of the kitchen, wiping her hands on her apron. "Andres, congratulations." She hugged me with genuine joy. "I'm so proud of you. 8 years of so much effort. You did it." "Thanks, Mom," I said, returning the hug. "Is this why you interrupted us?" Pablo said, coming out of his room. "To show off a little piece of paper." "It's not a little piece of paper," I said, holding out the diploma for them to see. "It's my university degree. It represents years of hard work." My father finally deigned to look at me. He held out his hand. Naively, I passed it to him. He held it, looked at it for a moment, and then he tore it. With deliberate, slow movements, he ripped my diploma in half, then into quarters, then into smaller pieces, all while looking me straight in the eye. Finally, I said, "What are you doing, Dad? That's 8 years of my effort. Why did you rip my diploma?" "Don't exaggerate," he said with a cold, contemptuous voice. "It's just a piece of cardboard. You'll still be the same loser you've always been. This little piece of paper doesn't change that." The pieces of my diploma fell to the floor like confetti. 8 years of effort turned into trash in seconds. Pablo burst into laughter. "Dad, that was epic." He was laughing so hard he doubled over. The look on Andres' face is priceless. My mother gasped. "Ricardo, what have you done? Why would you do that?" "Because he needs to learn some humility," my father said with a shrug. Pablo kept laughing. "It's true, bro. I don't know why you're taking it so seriously. It's just a piece of cardboard. It doesn't make you special." Something inside me that had been holding on for 5 years finally broke. Not with sadness, but with absolute clarity. I reached into my pocket and pulled out the $5,000 check. The monthly check that ensured these parasites had a roof over their heads, food, utilities, everything. "You're right, Dad," I said in a strangely calm voice. "It's just a piece of paper. My father looked at me with a confused expression. Then he saw the check in my hand. Andres, he started, his tone changing immediately. Just like this, I said, holding up the check for everyone to see. This is also just a piece of paper. Andres, no, my father said, standing up quickly. I began to rip the check slowly, deliberately, exactly as he had ripped my diploma. For what? I asked with false innocence as I continued ripping. It's just a piece of paper. Don't exaggerate, Andres, please. Pablo had stopped laughing. We have to pay the rent. It's due today. Not my problem, I said, finishing tearing the check into small pieces. I let them fall to the floor, mixing with the pieces of my diploma. They're just little bits of paper. They don't change anything, right? Son, this isn't funny, my father shouted. We need that money. The landlord is going to evict us. Then get a job, I said with a coldness I didn't know I possessed. Like I did. Stop being a parasite who lives off the effort of your son, you loser. You can't do this. Pablo shrieked. We're your family. Family, I repeated with a bitter laugh. You're talking to me about family? You, who has mocked me for years while I supported you. You, who has never contributed a single cent to this house. You, who is 32 years old and still lives with mommy and daddy playing video games all day. You're talking to me about family? Andres, your brother is right, my father said, trying a more conciliatory tone. No, I said with absolute clarity. There will be no other check. Not this month, not ever again. It's over. 5 years of supporting you completely while you treated me like trash. It's over. But Mom. Pablo said desperately. She lives here too. Are you going to leave her with nothing? I turned to my mother, who had been watching everything in silence with tears in her eyes. Mom, I said softly, come live with me in my apartment. It's small but comfortable. I have a spare room. You would live comfortably, with respect, without having to put up with this. I pointed to my father and brother. Without having to live with people who despise you as much as they despise me. What? My father turned red. Elena isn't going anywhere. It's not your decision, I said. It's hers. Mom, what do you say? My mother looked at me, then at my father and Pablo, then back at me. You really want me in your apartment? Of course, I said. You're the only person in this house who has treated me with genuine love, the only one who deserves my help. We'll live together. I'll work, you can rest. No more putting up with mockery or contempt. Elena, don't be ridiculous, my father said. Your place is here with your husband. My husband, my mother said, her voice trembling. The husband who constantly mocks me, who tells me I'm useless because I don't work, who humiliates me in front of our son along with Pablo. That husband. I froze. What? They treat me badly all the time too, my mother admitted, tears now streaming freely. They tell me I'm a burden, that I don't contribute anything, that I should be grateful they tolerate me. Pablo tells me I'm a useless old woman. Ricardo, her voice broke. Ricardo tells me I should just leave so I'm not a burden to anyone. The rage I felt in that moment was indescribable. Is that true? I asked my father and Pablo. She's exaggerating, my father said quickly. We're just joking. Just like you were joking when you ripped up my diploma. I roared. Just like Pablo was joking while mocking me for years. Andres, my father began. Mom, I said, turning to her and completely ignoring my father. Pack your things. We're leaving tonight. Now, Elena, don't you dare, my father threatened. Or what? I snapped at him. What are you going to do? Stop supporting her. You can't, because you don't support anyone. I do. And from now on, I will only support those who respect me. My mother looked at me with an expression of hope I hadn't seen in years. Really? Really, I said, taking her hand. Go on, pack whatever you want to take. We're leaving in half an hour. My mother went quickly to her room. I heard drawers opening, clothes being packed. Andres, this is crazy, my father yelled. You can't take my wife. Your wife whom you emotionally abuse, I corrected him. Your wife who is only useful when you need someone to cook and clean for free. Your wife who will finally have the option to live with dignity away from you too. But who's going to cook? Pablo said, with genuine concern in his voice, as if that were the greatest tragedy. Cook for yourselves, I said with disdain. Or better yet, get jobs and buy takeout. Welcome to the real world. We can't pay the rent without your money, my father finally admitted. The landlord is strict. If we don't pay today, he'll evict us. Then find a cheaper place, I said without sympathy. Or get jobs. Or both. It's not my problem anymore. This is your fault. Pablo yelled. If you weren't so sensitive, none of this would have happened. Sensitive? I repeated in disbelief. You ripped up my diploma, the symbol of 8 years of hard work, and you laughed, and you expected me to keep giving you money? It was just a joke. Pablo shouted. Jokes are funny to everyone involved, I said. That wasn't a joke. It was deliberate cruelty, and my tolerance for it is over. Half an hour later, my mother came out with 2 large suitcases filled with clothes and some personal belongings. Her eyes were red from crying, but there was determination on her face. I'm ready, she said. Elena, for the last time, my father said in a desperate voice, don't do this. Think about our marriage, our family. I have thought about it, my mother said, her voice firmer than I expected. I've thought about it for 35 years, and I realized I married a man who became cruel and lazy. Who raised a son just as cruel and lazy. And that my other son, the one you call a loser, is the only decent man in this family. We left that house that night. I carried my mother's suitcases to my car. She sat in the passenger seat, and as we drove away, she looked one last time at the house where she had lived for 30 years. Are you sure about this? I asked her. Completely sure, she said, taking my hand. I should have done this years ago. I should have defended you more. Forgive me for not doing so. There's nothing to forgive, Mom, I said. You always showed me love. That was enough to keep me sane. My apartment had 2 bedrooms. The spare room I had been using as an office, I turned into my mother's room. It wasn't huge, but it was comfortable, clean, and quiet. In the following days, my father and Pablo bombarded me with calls. First came the threats, then the pleas, then the attempts at emotional manipulation. I blocked both of them after the 10th call. 2 weeks later, my uncle Carlos, my father's brother, called me. Andres, I don't know if you want to know this, he said, but your father and Pablo were evicted. They couldn't pay the rent. Obviously, the landlord kicked them out with the help of the police. I see, I said, feeling nothing in particular. They're living in a cheap motel, sharing a room, my uncle continued. And they both got jobs. Finally. Your father is packing boxes in a warehouse. Pablo is working at a gas station. Both are earning minimum wage. Good, I said. It's time they worked like the rest of the world. Don't you feel anything? My uncle asked. I feel relief, I answered honestly. Relief that they are finally facing the consequences of years of abuse. Relief that my mother is finally living in peace. Relief that I am no longer their personal ATM. You're tougher than I thought, my uncle said. Or I just learned to value myself, I replied. Today, 3 months after that night that changed everything, my mother and I live in harmony. She cooks because she enjoys it, not because she's forced to. She keeps the apartment clean because she wants to, not because she'll be humiliated if she doesn't. She watches her favorite shows without anyone making fun of her. She reads her books without interruption. My father and Pablo have tried to contact me several more times, always through other people's numbers. The messages are all variations of the same theme: we're sorry, we made mistakes. Please help us. We're family. I haven't answered any of them because I learned something invaluable that night: forgiveness without genuine change only enables more abuse. And they haven't changed. They're just desperate to get back to the comfortable life I financed. Do I regret ripping up that check? Not for a second. It was the most liberating act of my life. It was the moment I finally said, enough, after years of being treated as less than human. Do I regret taking my mother with me? No, it was the best decision I could have made. I now have a home companion who truly appreciates what I do, who respects me, who loves me genuinely. My diploma was replaced by the university after I explained what happened. It now hangs, framed, on my living room wall. I look at it every day, and it reminds me of what I achieved despite the circumstances. It reminds me that I am strong, that I am capable, that I am anything but a loser. I've learned that true family isn't defined by blood, but by mutual respect and genuine love. My father and Pablo are my blood, but they were never real family. My mother is blood and family because she combines both elements. I am free now. Free from the burden of supporting parasites who despised me. Free from the constant emotional abuse. Free from seeking approval from people incapable of giving it. Free from sacrificing my well-being for people who never valued it. My father and Pablo are finally working. Something they should have done years ago. They live in modest conditions, earning minimum wage, probably hating every minute of it, but those are the direct consequences of their own decisions, of years of laziness, years of abuse, years of assuming their personal ATM would never get tired. It got tired, and it has been permanently closed. And in its place, I built something better, a peaceful home where my mother and I live with dignity, respect, and the satisfaction of knowing that we finally value ourselves more than the opinions of cruel people. That torn diploma was the price I paid for my freedom, and it was a bargain. Subscribe for more daily stories. M.
Oh, so chunky, so chunky. Wait, please tell me that there's a part 2. What was that? You know, I love my friends, but it doesn't mean that I would trust them with my haircut. POV, your most expensive moisturizer shatters, but you're not a quitter. Wait, but there's glass in there, babe.
This is some real embarrassing, and I need to deal with it. And I will deal with it.
Not the magic cream.
I just cannot believe this is happening right now.
I mean, that might not have glass in it, but there is a high probability that that could have glass in it. Now you will for realsies have glass skin. I'm sorry. That was one of your ones. You know what? You're such a critic, you know? Like, you just come in here and you just criticize me all the time. I'm just trying to make you better. Well, you're not. You're making me insecure. I'd be insecure too if I looked like that. You do look like that. You literally look like me. In her defense, Charlotte's magic cream is some good. Like, it's worth every penny, in my opinion. I really love it. Obviously, there's great moisturizers out there, but that stuff, magic in a bottle or a glass container. Oh, we've got a male beauty fail. Beauty is not synonymous with femininity, friends. Oh, I hate these. Oh, I hate these so much.
I don't think it's ready.
Is ready?
Yeah, it might be ready.
You know, go for it, sister.
Ah! Oh no! Oh, that one hurt. That yeah, for sure. No going back. You know what? I love to see it. I love to see some men involving themselves in the beauty community, because the fact